From some of the most disciplined soldiers from ancient times to elite special forces in modern times, here are some of the most feared warriors and armies of all time. But first, quick shout out goes to Remy for leaving us this comment on our biggest lies in history video. We're sorry we left that one off. Chin up, brother, you'll find one someday. Let us know in the comments section if we left off any feared warriors on this list, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. Number 13. Spartans. You might be familiar with the ancient Spartans from the movie 300, where King Leonidas leads his small Spartan army into a gruesome battle. It certainly wasn't easy being a Spartan, but they quickly became some of the first highly organized fighting machines of the ancient world, with remarkable amounts of discipline and of course muscle definition. Spartans had to prove their worthiness even as an infant. Those who were deemed as physically inferior were left at the base of Mount Taygetus, but some still claim that's just a myth. At the age of 7, children would be separated from their family and trained in such things as hunting, warfare, and stealth combat. Utilizing their strong shields and bronze helmets, Spartans would form in phalanx formations, which would make them nearly invulnerable. Number 12. Hannibal's Elephant Units. What are some of the best ways to win battles against your enemy? Surprise and instill fear in them. Hannibal's elephant units during the Punic Wars were able to accomplish both of those goals and managed to help participate in the sacking of Rome. Although the Carthaginians weren't the first people to successfully tame elephants and use them in warfare, they were basically like the super tanks of their days. The famous leader Hannibal successfully marched elephants through the Alps and into the Italian peninsula. The large creatures certainly caused the Romans to be frightened and their horses to panic. Number 11. Persian Immortals. The Persian Immortals essentially defeated the Spartans during the infamous Battle of Thermopylae, which will help them rank higher on our list. Despite the Spartans only having a small force of soldiers, the Persian Immortals were simply devastating in most battles. They were almost like a poor man's Spartan soldier, but the Immortals of the Persian Empire gained their strength in numbers. Herodotus coined the term for this unit because anytime a soldier was wounded or sick, they were immediately replaced with a new soldier. They were equipped with a large variety of weapons, including short spears, slings, bows and arrows, swords, daggers, and protected with scaled bronze armor. Number 10. Roman Legions. A legion was typically comprised of 4,800 men divided into 10 cohorts, with centurions taking on the commanding roles. The Roman legions were similar to the Greek phalanxes in a sense, utilizing strong shields and a high degree of organization. After Rome evolved into a conquering nation, many skills and tactics evolved that were never seen before in ancient times. Many enemies were surprised by how quickly they could move through their territory, lay siege, and conquer. The chosen sword of the infamous Roman legions was the gladius, but they were also equipped with javelins that would bend on impact, making them useless if the enemy picked them up. As they crushed other nations in their path, they would recruit new soldiers from faraway lands. The empire they were able to create stretched from Great Britain all the way to Egypt, and they will be remembered as one of the greatest fighting units of all time. Number 9. British Longbowmen. Archers don't typically get a whole lot of attention for being fierce warriors in battle, however their importance and efficiency on the front lines can't be overlooked. The British Longbowmen were like snipers of their day and were equipped with a 6-foot long bow, taller than the average person in those times. Its range and penetration capabilities were unmatched, especially in comparison with the crossbow. Longbows were even used until the Battle of Flodden in 1513, well after the invention of the firearm. Fun fact, even Benjamin Franklin suggested that they should bring back the longbow to be used against the British. Oh, the irony. It would still be able to fire just as accurately and could have actually done a bit more of damage to the waves of British soldiers during the Revolutionary War. Let us know what you think about that in the comment section. Number 8. Vikings. The Vikings were a fairly well-organized group of Scandinavian seafarers who raided homelands in Northern Europe. They obtained an advanced knowledge in warfare, metallurgy, and shipmaking. Utilizing their skills in shipmaking, they would often pillage many different parts of Europe, including Scotland, due to their lack of natural resources in their homeland. Viking longboats are quite unique and are built to be very sturdy while navigating through treacherous fjords, seas, and even oceans. Some Vikings were even referred to as berserkers, which originally meant that they were crazy enough to fight without any armor or bare-chested. That was pretty courageous at that time. Now being called berserk means you're a crazy person. In case you were wondering, the Vikings actually didn't wear horn helmets, but their ferocity and mobility made them some of the most savage warriors of all time. Number 7. The Templars. The Knights Templar was formed in France and was a secret society of elite knights and monks during the Crusades. They pledged to commit their lives to a secret code after conquering the Holy Land of modern-day Israel. The religious warriors formed in 1114 and were a fighting force to reckon with. The Templars made it easy for pilgrims to travel to the Holy Land from Western Europe by providing protection and creating banks. After a while, even the King of France, King Philip, found himself in debt to the powerful group. Among some of the first bankers in Europe, their wealth expanded quickly, which gave them a vast amount of resources to spend on crusades, as well as some of the best weaponry in France. The devout Christians would build castles that still stand today and would often fight for control of the Holy Land. They're still out there, but they conduct their operations and holy wars in a more secretive fashion than before. Number 6. The Samurai. The samurais are some of the most traditional warriors on the list, and they followed a strict code known as Bushido, which kept them very disciplined. They'd rather die in battle or commit a horrible form of suicide than surrender. The spirit of the samurai is still alive and well when you take a look at how popular the weapons are to collectors in modern times. Blacksmiths heat and fold iron hundreds of times in order to ensure that there are no weak points in the blade. Considered to be the spirit of the samurai, the sword can consist of thousands of layers of steel, and the forging site was considered sacred. In the end, it's as beautiful as it is dangerous. Skilled samurais would also be able to make 3 cuts in the same time it would take 1 swing from a European broadsword. Number 5. Landsknechte. This group of mercenaries from Bavaria and Bohemia were some of the most sought after by various military forces across Europe. They played a role as a heavy infantry unit, almost bringing back the brutality of the Spartans in a similar manner. In the 15th century, they were used as bailiffs or court ushers and would play important roles on battlefields as well. In 1490, they helped drive the Hungarians out of Austria and would put up a good fight as long as the price was right. They were often armed with long pikes, some as long as 14 feet. Number 4. The Winged Hussars. You probably never took too much time to think about it, but one of the reasons Europe was able to stay Christian was because of the Winged Hussar. This heavy Polish cavalry unit played an important role in the Battle of Vienna in 1683. This was when the Ottoman Empire sent tens of thousands of men to lay siege upon the Austrian Empire. It was starting to look really bad for Vienna until the Winged Hussars showed up. Kingdoms all over Europe sent help to the front lines, and the Polish cavalry unit known as the Winged Hussars played a big role in finishing them off. The defeat would prove to keep the Ottomans from advancing too far west, and the empire would begin to decline. It's not sure exactly why they have wings, but some believe it was to reduce noise on the battlefield in order to keep their horses from becoming startled. Number 3. The Nazi SS. One of the most feared organizations of all time, the WaffenSS were the elite force of soldiers who the Germans considered to be genetically superior, and it consisted of an army of roughly 250,000 men. They were initially meant to serve as Hitler's personal bodyguards, but were later on deemed as a criminal organization during the trials of Nuremberg. Heinrich Himmler established the Waffen-SS, who would consist of nationalities from just about every country Germany was able to annex. The SS would also have various subdivisions, which included activities ranging from intelligence operations to roles in concentration camps. In late October of 1944, the Waffen-SS was able to increase their number to about 900,000 men. They were able to conquer much of Europe at first, but we all know how the story goes. Number 2. The 101st Airborne Division. Also known as the Screaming Eagles, these proud elite special forces come from the US Army and are trained for conducting aerial assaults. They're considered by some to be the most mobile troops out there and are able to capture key pieces of land far beyond enemy lines. They played a key role in historical operations such as D-Day and Operation Overlord, parachuting into Normandy. They also played a major role in Vietnam and were able to help win the Battle of Hamburger Hill. Now in more modern times, they've kept their fierce reputation as fighters with combat in the Middle East. They go through rigorous, realistic training situations that often use live ammunition to prepare for them what they're about to experience. They keep roughly a total of 280 Apache Black Hawk and Chinook helicopters in their arsenal, which is about 1 helicopter for every 9 soldiers. They're highly renowned for their tactical command and mobility and are ready to be deployed wherever Uncle Sam needs them to. And number 1, the Russian Spetsnaz. Also known as the Alpha Group, these special forces were created by the KGB and the Soviet Union during the 1970s to be possibly the most brutal and toughest special forces on the planet. No mission is impossible for these guys, and they live up to their reputation of being one of the most renowned special forces ever to exist. According to a book by Viktor Suvorov, the train is certainly no cakewalk. Soldiers must withstand pain management training, which includes a punch to the chest by a commanding officer. They also might get cinder blocks smashed on their abdomen with a sledgehammer. So which one did you think was the most interesting? Let us know in the comments section, and we'll see you next time.